Now it's asking me, where is my certificate going to be hosted? And it's on a third party or dedicated server. And then it's going to ask me to paste in my certificate signing request. So where is that? Well, what I'll do is I'll go back here, and if I look in my C drive, you'll see there's my certificate request. So all I do is I copy that, I come back in here, I paste it. I'll say my certificate issuing organization is going to be GoDaddy, and then I'll say next. And you can see it's automatic, it's read that certificate request, it knows it's for star.oeccomputers.com. That's the certificate issuing organization, and then I'll say next. So that's all okay. And it's now going to go through the process of creating the certificate. Alright, so I'll say finished. And you can see there is my certificate all created for me. So I select that certificate, and now what do I want to do? I now want to download that. So I choose download, and I'm going to say what kind of platform am I going to download this for. Now this time I'm going to download it for IIS 7, but I'm also going to want to download this again later for my SAP mobility piece. I'm going to want to download it for Tomcat. But anyway, right now I'll just say IIS 7, and then I'll choose download certificate for IIS 7, and I'll save this file, and the file name, I'll call it OEC Computers, and I'll save that in my, I think I'll probably save that on my C drive, is probably the best place for it, in the root directory. So I'll save that. Okay, don't have permission to save in this location. That's alright, I'll save it in my Richard folder in the downloads where it was trying to save it in the first place. Just say save, and that's now done. So I'm going to pause for a second because I'm not going to be able to fit all of this on the one YouTube video. And we'll come back and we'll continue on with the process in our next video. So now I've downloaded my certificate file. I can close out of the GoDaddy website because I'm now finished there. And what I want to do is go into my computer, go into my downloads area, which is under Richard Downloads, and there's the zip file which I need to extract. So I'll double click on there. I'll choose extract all files, and I'll put it into a folder now called OEC Computers Certificates, because I want to keep this for future reference as well. And I'll say extract, and that's now done. My OEC certificates are now ready for me to bring in and complete my certificate request in IIS. So we'll close that folder, and now we'll go back into IIS, and I'm just going to maximize that. We'll look at our server. If I go down here to my server certificates and double click on there, you'll now see I've got an option which is complete certificate request. So I'll choose that. Now I need to navigate out to where that certificate file is. So I go out to computer, to my C drive, my users folder, my downloads, and my OEC certificates folder. In here I'll say choose all folders, and I want the oeccomputers.com certificate, so I'll say OK. I'll give this a friendly name, and this is my OEC Computers wildcard. This is just making it easy for me to identify this certificate when I'm looking at it, and I'll say OK. And that's now done. You'll see I now have my OEC Computers wildcard certificate, and that's now sitting in there, and that's ready to use for Small Business Server. So next thing I need to do is I need to tell Small Business Server to use that certificate on my sites. So if I go in here into sites and I choose the site that I want to apply this to, so I'm going to want to apply this to my SBS web applications site. So I'll go here, choose SBS web applications, because that's where the remote web workplace is sitting. I'll select that. I go into bindings. You'll see there it is. I've got my HTTPS. If I choose edit, it now asks me which certificate do I want to use, and there it is, my OEC Computers wildcard. So I'll choose that and I'll say OK and apply that. So now that certificate is what is going to be used whenever anybody connects to my remote web workplace via HTTPS, and then it's not going to throw up any errors about, you know, problems with trusted certificates or whatever the case may be. So the next step is I now want to use that certificate for when I am connecting to my demo system via remote desktop services. So what I need to do is I need to go and apply that certificate to my terminal services gateway. So how do I do that? I'm just going to close that down now because I'm finished in the IIS manager, and I want to go Start, Terminal Services, and Terminal Services Gateway Manager. We'll open up the MMC snap-in for that, and you can see that when I select this particular TS Gateway machine, now what does the TS Gateway do? It basically allows you to connect via remote desktop services without having to open up special ports. So it comes in via port 80 and port 443 and basically opens up a secure connection through to terminal services. So you can see it's saying OEC SB server is not fully configured, and we'll just drag that over a little bit further, try and make it a little bit easier to read. To access the settings required to complete TS Gateway, click on each link as provided in each configuration task. So you can see that a server certificate is not yet installed or selected. So all I do is I click on here, the configuration task. I want to select an existing certificate for SSL encryption. Now when I browse certificates, you'll see there it is. Automatically my wildcard certificate has been added into the certificate repository. I'll choose apply, and I'll say apply again, and now I'll say OK, and basically that's it. I can now connect to my terminal services gateway using SSL, and that will be the certificate that protects the system. Okay, is there anything else I need to do here? Yes, there is. There's one more step, and I want to make sure that when I am connecting to my server via remote desktop that that's all being secured for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go Start, go to Administrative Tools, again, go to Terminal Services and go into my Terminal Services configuration. I'm going to double click on my RDP configuration. This is for my RDP protocol, and I'm going to tell the system that I want to secure any RDP connections with that certificate. So there it is, there's my wildcard certificate again. So I'm going to choose that and say OK, and I'm going to apply that and say OK again. So now my RDP is also being secured. So that's my certificate now applied everywhere I need it for my small business server.